We went to Teavivre again. We keep doing this. And we got another kind of pu'er. And what is this one called?
This tea is called Zhoushi. Zhoushi? Is that Zhoushi?
Zhoushi
Fengquing
Ripened Puerh Cake Tea 2016.
A lovely year.
Yes. How you say that? Who knows? Diagram on this one.
I don't know what it says, but I like it anyway.
Shiny gold foil paint.
Very pretty. Which actually wouldn't be that expensive because gold foil itself is something like $1 per sheet, maybe $2 per sheet.
But it has a lovely effect.
Shelf life. The age, the better. 12.5 ounces. Let's see. 8 ounces is a cup. So you've got about 1.5 cups of pu'er here.
Which makes far more tea than that. That's just how many leaves.
Yeah.
All pressed.
You want to know why I learned how to tell how many ounces are in a cup?
Do tell.
It's because my grandmother has measuring cups in ounces instead of cups. So we have a little conversion table in her cabinet, and we converge, however you say that.
So
Okay.
there are helpful sayings like a pint's a pound the world around.
I wouldn't remember that. Anyway. One moment. The pretty tea cake.
Oh, look at that.
It's been a while since we had a tea cake. Well, at least I think it has. The trusty tea pick. You know, what I really like about having a tea cake instead of little tuochas is that you can pick how much you want. So if you're only going to do like 2 infusions, you don't have to add as much tea. And if you're going to do a lot more, you can add a little bit more as you go without having to use a whole other tuocha.
The tuocha is a little puck, essentially, of tea that is just right for a pot of tea. And then we wrap it back up to protect it from heat, light, and air. But don't worry, you will use it quickly.
We drink tea every night.
Yes, she does. Sometimes I participate.
Yes. I pour her some and then wait to see if she'll drink it.
It just depends.
Kind of like a bird.
A bird?
Yeah, that bird.
Emma wants to tell you a story.
Yesterday I was at home, alone, and I heard something rapping at the window. Obviously, this concerns me because things rapping on your window when you're home alone is a little bit concerning.
Tapping at my chamber door?
It was not a raven. It was a catbird. Said catbird had flown into our window. So the bird had run into the glass and somehow injured its wing. So when I walked out there, it was just sort of... And it looked up at me like, what are you? I looked up how to care for an injured bird, and it told me to give it some sugar water. So I gave it some sugar water, and it just sort of looked at it for a while. But then I moved it, and it drank some, and then it flew away.
So the bird recuperated rather quickly.
I'd like to think my sugar water had something to do with it.
It was pretty big.
Mm-hmm.
I saw it just at the end of all that. We went out to look at it, and it said, okay, I'm out of here.
It was pretty gray, and it had a little tuft of hair right here, or fur right here. And then its tail was gray on the top, but with bright red feathers underneath.
So now you know the sound of a catbird.
Mm-hmm. It kind of sounds like a cat meowing. Or a bird meowing.
We'd heard it before, but now we've seen it.
It was talking to its kin while being trapped. Well, not trapped.
It was
stuck.
saying, hey, don't leave me here. What can you do for me? These people keep looking at me. Okay, we like to sniff the tea.
Smells good.
It does. Basement tea, I like to say.
A bit weak.
At the moment. It's got nice caramel. People don't like it when I say pu'er is sweet, but it's sweet to me. Of course, I don't eat sugar.
It kind of tastes like, kind of like brown butter.
Mm.
Like when you brown the butter so it has the buttery notes, but it also has like a nutty sort of caramel taste.
I like it.
This is the same infusion, by the way.
Yeah. So Puerh is ripened for as long as possible. The longer, the more expensive.
Also, you can buy one ripened from like 2 years prior and then age it yourself for free, just as long as you make sure that you keep it in a nice dark place away from most light and moisture and heat.
People actually invest in Puerh and keep it for a long time, and it's a big deal when they drink it.
I mean, I wouldn't do that, but sometimes when we have a particularly large tea cake, we'll be drinking it for 6 months, and it'll be a little bit different by the time we finish it.
We've taken 6 months on one?
Yeah, we had 2 at the time.
Oh.
Sometimes when we don't have any Puerh, or we're getting low on Puerh, I have to drink black tea.
Poor baby. Is this the second infusion?
It's... Ooh, this is stronger now.
Mm-hmm. How it tastes depends on how long you brew it and how hot your water is and all kinds of good stuff like that. What kind of water you got?
Mm-hmm. We're getting into the basement now.
Mm-hmm. It's getting darker, so to speak.
There's the brown butter
Mm-hmm.
from earlier,
Mm-hmm.
which is sort of staying, but it's been replaced by more of like a vanilla. It has an underlying sweetness, which is the
Caramel.
caramel brown butter. And it's got the overarching basement.
Fermentation.
Oh, I don't have any more. Hang on while I get the third infusion here. Go back in there. Let's smell it real quick here. Ooh.
A new note. But what?
Cacao nibs.
Hmm.
The sort of bitter sweetness. Or like 100% chocolate.
Yes, that's what I'm getting as a leftover taste around my teeth.
Yeah. Okay. The color is much darker now.
Pretty.
Not harsh at all. It's very rich
no,
and
it's
smooth.
Resinous. Now, we don't take ourselves too seriously. We have absolutely no training in this. We're just playing. But it's just fun.
It's thick. You ever heard somebody say their tea is thick?
Yes, they say that, viscosity. And what they're talking about is the mouth feel of it. It feels, it has a staying power to it. I think you should get some.
It's very good.
And drink it. It's for probably a mid-level tea drinker who is familiar with Puerh and likes it.
It's really good if you like smooth teas. If you want one that's a little bit harsher, this might not be the right one.
So if you want a smooth tea experience, I go with this one. If you're into complexity, it's not particularly complex. It's just nice. And until we see you again,
Make sure to make time for tea and a good book.